Hello, everyone. Dan Dog Crypto here. Once again, as we know, the narrative has been put into effect with the cryptocurrency, but certainly the economic conditions that are affecting everything, the liquidity that is being retransferred, repositioned, but there is money sitting on the sidelines. Your Bitcoin, what's happened with Bitcoin, as you've seen at 16.8, Ethereum, the larger cryptocurrency. Money has been poured into them, and we had a massive bull run across the board from your meme coins taking off, your layer ones, your solutions for data. So, in the crypto market right now, it is the present, it is the future, because as we know, there are partnerships that are being formed, but we're not able to see the beauty of it at this point. It's in the development phases. It's no different in the early days when Amazon and the internet was developing. You needed to create the infrastructure, the development that was occurring. And at that time, the competition was the brick and mortar. There is no way that this online, this presence with returns could even compete with brick and mortar companies. And then as time evolved, as the internet evolved, the speed of the internet, as the adoption of the internet, the next thing we know is there's mass adoption. But at that time, you have analysts that were predicting certainly the downfall, and you've had corrections with top tier, the Amazon 95%, the eBays of the world coming down, Microsoft having corrections. So it's a normal transition as money moves from one sector to another. But there is massive development. We've had Visa, which is trying to stay relevant. So now you have Visa, which is exploring opportunities to do reoccurring payments, to be able to use a decentralized wallet. So Visa's increasingly taking a position in the cryptocurrency, or we want to call it blockchain. So any of the top analysts say, well, you know what? We like blockchain, the underlying technology, but it's all encompassed in one because there's so much development. There are going to be leaders. There's going to be some laggers, but this creates opportunities for the common person to be able to enter. You have PayPal that now partners with MetaMask, making it easy to be able to bring in your fiat into this digital cryptocurrency. But all this uncertainty that has happened, all this craziness that has gone on with the FTX that has created fear. But this fear has been created not by DeFi. This was by centralized finance. So now it's a scam, and the cryptocurrency, the fraud, it's traditional fraud. Whether they used cryptocurrency as a means, at the end they ended up using dollars to transform and purchase property. Cryptocurrency, the benefit of it in a digital format, it will be here. What the opportunity presents is that a unaccredited investor has an opportunity to be able to make an investment in the future where normally you'd have to be accredited an investor. You can analyze and find something and believe that it is a great opportunity because you were not an accredited investor and didn't have the net worth. You could not participate. But now you can participate in decentralized finance. Yes, the market has gone down. when you look at the Dow Jones and you look at the S&P 500, it is a transferring into other sectors. So money's being moved from one sector, reducing the price, and putting it into another sector. So who is doing this? Legacy money. Legacy money has come into the certain cryptocurrency, created a boom, and money's being pulled out. Does not mean that cryptocurrency will not be the future. It is the future. But the biggest error is missing opportunities. What happens is you have a Pzen. So it had a minor correction, and now it's up 14%. It's early in the journey. Unaccredited investors, you can take a position, but the biggest mistake that retail investors make is they take a small position. Yes, do your research. Don't put in any more that you're not willing to lose. Why? Because you don't want to put yourself at risk. So there's a risk factor. No risk, no reward. But when you do your research, Pzen is an early opportunity. But the biggest mistake that retail investors do, whether you're purchasing a stock or it's cryptocurrency, they don't take a strong enough position. And then what happens as a bull market goes and you took a small position, because that small position increased, but it's not substantial. So you disregard it, so you stay in it hoping it's going to go up more. But if you took a strong enough position and now you have a 3x, 4x, 5x, all of a sudden you can scale back if you choose to. But a strong enough position creates life-changing results because of what is the upside potential. Cryptocurrency has been the highest appreciating asset class. You can find winners even in the stock market. But if you don't take a position when an opportunity presents itself and don't take a strong enough position, when the market goes up, because it's such a small position and you made a couple of hundred or you made 1,000, it's not substantial. So what don't they do? They do not sell. They stay in it, or they do not reduce their position with the hope it goes up. When you hear influencers say, my largest position is my stable coin, what did they do? They sold. They took their positions out. So they got into cash and they held liquid because they took a strong enough position. When you take a small position and try to ride it out and hope, yes, time in the market is key. But what happens is you want to make sure that you have a strong enough position that as this market, as it potentially moves forward, as we go into the years or the year, as the cycle switches, bear market, then a bull market, as we transition, you want to be in a strong enough position that when a run happens, that then you can either reduce your position, but it becomes life-changing. But you want to have a strong enough position. But you want to be in something that you can be in, that you can hold when you believe in it. Because now what happens is it becomes a income producing asset. This is what Pzen is. This income producing asset converts your wallet, your decentralized wallet that's just idle. If you hold any token, If you're not receiving any income off of it, you're hoping for the price to go up. You want to get a yield. So Pzen creates a yield, but it's continuously compounding. So it's a continuous transaction transfer. That transfer compounds with each interaction, receiving more Pzen. Want to call it a miner, however you want to identify it. But the code of Pzen is stating there will be a redistribution. So it's an economic engine. You need the fuel. The fuel is Pzen. And the more Pzen you have, you're able to claim more Pzen out of the pool. And that's your yield. But the more Pzen that claims that you get out of this pool, what happens is your yield or ownership, the cooperative owner of Pzen, is shared with all the holders. It is early, so that's why I say it is a Genesis wallet. It's early. What happens here now? The ownership goes up, your yield, because each interaction, what happens? You're going to receive your proportion of the pool. Pzen is this early opportunity. What happens here, you don't have to be an accredited investor. You can be a person that has done their research and finds an opportunity. It is a community. It's a Web3 engineered. So the code is the law. The code, which is an ERC20 token, but you have to remember, Pulsechain, there will be a copy of Pulsechain when Puslechain launches. Now, Pulsechain is a continuous compounding yield on each interaction. Most people that are familiar with staking, you have to now put your wallet and identify with the platform. So yes, we have trusted platforms. How does it compound? Some compound daily, some compound weekly. So the compounding that you receive or the interest that you receive from a staking has to come from somewhere. And sometimes it's from inflation. That's how the rewards get regenerated. Pzen is deflationary. So Pzen, 880 million. Organic. Pzen was an organic launch. It met the Howey test. So what that means, it's not a security because it is no expectation from the work of others and the efforts of others. You're just sharing the opportunity, doing your own research. You are the one that makes the decision, do I interact with the code? It takes your position, your doing of work. And once you hold Pzen in your wallet, you will generate more Pzen. So your decentralized wallet, MetaMask wallet, becomes an income producing, the fuel. Pzen fuels this wallet with more Pzen. And the more Pzen you have, the more Pzen you receive because of each interaction. The 2% redistribution. Wealth is not scarce. What happens, it's there. It's going to be redistributed. As we see small little movements within Pzen, we're seeing these movements. Today we've had an up move. So we were up 13%. That's a big move. Depending how strong of a position, once people realize, they may even want to trade the market. So what happens is there's going to be interactions. So when you're early, you're going to receive more Pzen, and you just sit tight. Let the compounding build, because it will build. Little drips, drip, drip. Key, because it adds up. And over a period of time, because you're early, you're going to have more of compounding rewards in your wallet. But you have to be aware that you have to take a position. Again, do your homework. But you have to either dollar cost average when the opportunity presents itself, to be able to hold a strong enough position that when a market turns, that it substantially makes a difference. That yes, you may choose, because it's free will, to reduce a position. So it's an advantage because it's you paying it forward. There's benefits on either way. And then the cycle will begin again. So what happens is, knowing that you're early, it's only 3 months, very early. We're still not on coin market cap. There still hasn't been any true press release or shared release by the community, because it's still in the development stages. But at any time, something like that can happen. And all of a sudden now, it comes through. However you found Pzen, do more research, but make sure you understand the opportunity. There's no large whale manipulation. So it gives a common, smaller person an opportunity to take a position and reap a reward from continuous compounding, but also price appreciation. It's deflationary. The 2% pay it forward on each interaction, there's a burn. So we have to understand that burn function. It's crucial that at each time, what is happening, you're reducing the supply. At any time, anything could happen. So you can build on top of it. There can be other programs developed on top of it. As you see in other protocols, when they want to even accelerate the burning, why did they do that? To make the price go up? This is built right into this code. But you can, all of a sudden, someone could build something that then uses Pzen for whatever that they call them NFTs, that possibly in the future. But remember, this is launched on Ethereum, but the true identity was to launch on PULSECHAin. We are all still waiting. But you can develop, or the devs can develop, and all of a sudden now it creates another utility for it. Early. Taking a position in Pzen, understanding how it works. Yes, we have a charity wallet that will eventually be redistributed, and the DAO will be able to vote for us. So decisions can be made to donate to charities of whichever it is. But understanding what a pay it forward system does. In simplicity, the pay it forward system is paying it forward. So as we pay it forward, the person who receives the payout benefits as much as the other. But at any point, anyone could pay it forward, take a position, could take a large enough position, and all of a sudden there's more of a pay it forward. But remember, you're building a community, all working cooperatively together, the Zenites. So what happens is you can share the information with others. You can explain the benefits of how this decentralized finance, and no, this is not centralized finance, FTX has put this dark cloud and everything else, the large whales. People don't even understand what they've done. When you go and you're going to leverage your cryptocurrency, it's the large whales that are leveraging. Well, why are they leveraging? Because they're trying to avoid a taxable event. So what happens is they're willing to put in and leverage their crypto in exchange for what? Fiat. Well, when did they take their position? Well, if they have a large enough position and they're taking money out, and then all of a sudden this thing collapses. Well, all of a sudden now they have these losses. Always the little one that gets burnt because they follow these people. They're not always credible. What you hear is not always the truth. Well, this whole centralized finance, yes, but they leverage. Who was leveraging? Who were they giving the leverage to? As you hear, Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, possibly digital groups and all that. The leverage that they take is taking dollars out. So this way, they created debt, which does not become a taxable event. So they're willing to take that risk. But how much money did they make? And then they filed bankruptcy, yes. But this cash got distributed out. Who was distributing this cash? Who was taking these positions? Who was manipulating these large whale wallets to drive this price down, to erupt it? Then you have this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, in the background, and all these large, accredited, what kind of due diligence? I did do more due diligence in making purchases of my businesses when I was making purchases and identifying and breaking down. When someone wanted to take a position to buy out a business, well, do they have enough funds to sustain? Who are they? Pretty basic. And then you look at their back end, how their whole financial system is, and you find these things out. It's not that difficult. But here it's like, oh, we didn't know, and all of a sudden we need someone to tell us how, oh my God, they didn't have it. They used QuickBooks. You know pretty much right away how you can link. Because the first thing is, how are you going to rob me? That's the first thing you think about in the most basic things. How can there be a scam that they can siphon money out? In the old days, you had a register in a drawer and you had petty cash, and you're looking and you have to balance your cash, and whether it was services, you're balancing this book, and all of a sudden you look and things are not. Why am I short? Where was the loss? Well, if it's $30, if it's $20, well, then you multiply it by 10, all of a sudden it's 300. At the end of the month, it's 1,000. Well, you're going to find out where this situation is happening. And that's with that amount of money. So you do your work and you do your due diligence. The first thing you look is it solid? How can I be scammed? How can they siphon money out? Straightforward. And that's on a small scale. Because I could have discovered that scam because I would have looked inside and how the possibilities of them being able to siphon money out. Well, they didn't do this. Suppose why? Because they wanted to create this buzz, create fear, to create a downfall, and all of a sudden now the market comes down, and then eventually the market will go up, buying time to build the infrastructure, and the common person is afraid to take a position, afraid to add to a position. I think it's time to pull out. Cryptocurrency's a scam, and everyone's afraid. And then you have others that because they took a position and they just want to stay within their community because they're afraid, oh my God, I could have lost money. I can't tell people about another project. So then they stick within these why this is, because at one point when it was up, they saw the possibility, but their money was tied up, but they couldn't utilize it. And they're like, oh, I hope it'll happen again. No, an opportunity is an opportunity wherever it presents itself. And you share the opportunity. You do not restrict someone from an opportunity. You need to do your homework. You take your time. But within the community that I originated from, it is no different. Pulse-Zen is an early opportunity, and Conrad Zen within the Pulse-Zen community is creating an opportunity for anyone who believes and takes a position and is willing to understand the efforts that it takes to share the opportunity by not keeping it a secret. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. If I don't talk to you before the holiday, wish everyone the best. Have a great night.